Hello, beautiful souls. Okay, so I've been getting fired up and I've been meaning to make a video, but it's been busy. So here I am. Before I get going with the rest of my day, and I need to talk a little bit about this bullshit unity consciousness and why am I getting so fired up about this? I mean, we all know that there are people that play spiritual. I mean, that's no surprise, right? You know, after years and years and decades and more of, wearing masks and pretending to be something that we're actually not, and that's what society teaches us. I mean, it's no surprise that a lot of what's happening spiritually is just more of the same. It's just, something dressed up as something else. What do they say about a pig in lipstick? It's still a pig. Anyway, I never use that. But it popped in my head. So there you go. But what I'm noticing, and part of it is that just, I think where it resonates with me on my journey is that for some reason I believed in my life that I needed to people please. And yes, it's part of my wounding, but I'm seeing with this interesting amount of clarity that all of these things are all leading up to right now with this super clarity regarding why people are in relationships where they are not respected, where they are abused, where they are marginalized. And I'm not only talking about women. You know, men also have been marginalized, especially right now in society. I don't know how many divorce cases I know of right now of people that are, maybe it's not even divorce. There are those too. But, with people regarding children and the lack of rights for fathers. I mean, these women are like acting like these men are irrelevant. And they're not irrelevant men. So what I mean by that is that they're not tuned out. They want to be involved. They want to be a father. And they're being blocked from doing it. So I see it both ways. I see these women and how their men are treating them, and they're abused and they feel like they have got to stay in it, and it fires me up. I don't know how many sessions I've done on women, even like friends of mine, like in my physical proximity, my physical circle. I've done so many sessions and had conversations with these women who decide to stay in relationships that not only don't make them happy, but where men literally and figuratively beat them down. And they don't want to leave. And it is like, I don't know what the deal is. Yesterday and today, I am fired up that this programming in society is such that these women, they think that it is the honorable, easiest thing to do to stay and sacrifice themselves and perhaps even sacrifice their life, because as we know, in physically abusive relationships, those tend to escalate. And in one in particular, I know a girl that was recently choked, and that is the number one predictor of domestic violence death, is being choked by your partner. So I wasn't really planning to say that. I learned that back in 2019 when I experienced a very similar thing. And I haven't really, yeah. So if you are in a romantic intimate, it doesn't even matter what kind of relationship, and you were recently choked, get the fuck out. Right? That is the number one predictor for death, actually. Anyway, wasn't planning to say that, but that's for somebody out there. But this idea that societally we fail if we leave these relationships. We should try harder. Or, here's the deal. I am here to undo that programming. I left a relationship where I was not happy. And when my then partner said that he was fine being miserable the rest of his life with me, I was not fine with that. And here's the thing. Has it been a hard transition out of that? I mean, we were together for 20 years. Yeah. But on the daily, am I happier? Am I at peace within me now? Yeah. And that was not a thing then. And what really fired me up over the last couple days is all of these spiritual people that claim, whatever, saying, unity consciousness, we're all one, we're all aspects of God consciousness. So, we shouldn't be judging each other. And, if you get triggered, then that says everything about you. And maybe you shouldn't act out if you are triggered. And I'm like, are you kidding me? For me, this whole journey has been learning to trust my own intuition, learning to trust my own body, like as an indicator, like what should I be doing now? What is what feels safe? And if something doesn't feel safe, regardless of whether you're triggered, right? Don't try to gaslight yourself into thinking, well, I should think this is safe. What's wrong with me? No, fuck that. I am fired up. This is anti-awakening right now. Getting people to think that they need to put up with mistreatment, like it's somehow superior conscious, spiritually and consciously to stay in these relationships where you are mistreated because you can see that we are all one. No, you see we're all one, but you don't need to stay among people who are users, who don't really give a shit about you. And I don't know about you, but what I'm seeing is like all of a sudden way clearer. Even the friends in my life, I'm like, ugh, okay, yep. I'm like, what is this? I know I bring, a lot to the table. But what am I getting in return? And is this even a friendship? And if they're, and even in my personal life, of my inner circle, if I have to walk on eggshells, I don't want it. I'm like, nope, no thanks, not doing that. I love you, but I'm not doing that. And I mean it. And I know people can change, so slamming a door right now might not be a forever thing, but listening to how somebody says, what they say to you is one thing, but feeling in and how they're actually treating you, that's another. And you need to listen to what is actually happening. But I keep hearing these people that are talking and giving advice and acting like they're spiritual coaches and acting like they are morally and spiritually superior and giving people the advice that in oneness, we do not judge. Well, okay, I get not judging, but you also don't stay in a relationship where you're being abused. And I see this whole thing of this karmic load actually that is accruing for these people. They don't see it. I'm like, what? Because not everybody that sees your, whatever it is you're posting are on the same place that you are in your journey. And yes, it is true that some people might not notice it because that's how it works. Like we can't really perceive beyond our current level of consciousness. But also, I know that's true. So when I read these, I'm like, oh my gosh, you just showed your ass, like where you are right now. And that you think, the one that really fired me up was about trusting. And it was like, how can you, what was it? Something about, so if you don't trust somebody, how can you get them, how can you tell them without making them feel defensive? And I was like, there is so much wrong with that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And this is from a coach. So, Lord helped. And I'm heaven help the people that are following that. And so I asked the question, I'm like, why would I want to trust somebody? Or why would I want to hear from or even talk to anybody that I don't trust? Why would I want to go there? Why don't I just trust myself? And somebody else responded, well, I assume she meant, and I was like, oh, yeah. We know what they say about assumptions. And she never responded to my question. So I'm unfriending her because you know what? This is irresponsible behavior. It is Domestic Violence Month, Awareness Month, right? So, and for me, I went through that too. And so it does fire me up when I see people that believe that they need to be mistreated and, it's their childhood wounding. And it's really something, I know it sounds deep, but I know how easy it can be to change your way of thinking. So if you're finding yourself stuck, reach out. This is one of the things that Kathy and I are doing that is really helping people right now. We go back to the moment where your consciousness either split or got fragmented, and we can help you from that point forward. And what it has to do, with feeling unworthy or worthy of abuse, right? For the people that, especially those of you that experienced, atrocious abuse when you were a child, a lot of you guys are finding yourself in abusive relationships now because that's what you thought love was. And it's not. So anyway, yeah, if you're in an abusive relationship, start making a plan. You don't deserve this treatment. You deserve to be respected and heard and seen and experienced and not made small. That is your journey. You are on a journey of awakening to that. And believe you, believe me, I know it is not easy to make those changes. It doesn't feel easy. It feels hard. It feels like all of the deck is stacked against you. But I will seriously tell you that one small choice gets the ball rolling, and all of a sudden, one day you'll look up and you'll know that you're free. And you will no longer accept, tolerate people mistreating you anymore because you know that that's not what you're here for. That says everything about them and nothing about you unless you're tolerating it. So we have this big, huge push toward this, both genders feeling marginalized, misogyny, but also the equivalent for men. Let's break that paradigm, man. We're changing everything. I love you.